Marriage for
All right, guys, we're starting a meeting. Hey, folks, we're gonna start our council meeting. Welcome to our council meeting today. All right, guys, we're starting our meeting, please. I need a motion to call this meeting to order.
motion.
Second.
I need a motion to adopt the agenda.
Motion. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Alan, invocation, please.
Yes, please bow your head. Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us together today. Grant this council wisdom, clear minds, and a spirit of unity as we make choices for our community. Help us listen well, speak with respect, and serve with honest hearts. May God bless Beach Mountain, and God bless the USA. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to recognize Justin Summers. Justin is the regional director with Senator Ted Budd's office, and he brought us some good news that he's got us $16 million. No.
No pressure.
Okay, Justin, you're up.
Glad you were sitting when he said that.
Yeah, I'm glad I jumped up, right? Well, Mr. Mayor, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you all in Beach Mountain today, and certainly just bring well wishes on behalf of Senator Ted Budd. You know, our office, Senator, and all of his staff recognize the challenges that Beach Mountain and areas of the high country in western North Carolina continue to face post-Hurricane Helene. Senator Budd is, you know, rightfully so, decided this is an issue that he is going to lead on and continues to take stands in the United States Senate on behalf of communities and towns and counties across western North Carolina. You know, there continues to be challenges, and unfortunately the federal government does not have the answer to all the questions or does not have the magic wand that fixes all the problems. You know, I will tell you that, you know, we are, as a team at the Senator's direction, that we are working diligently to try to address as many of the problems that we possibly can. And, you know, Senator Budd is leading the way in a lot of ways on the challenges that continue to exist, from infrastructure to housing concerns to water concerns and wastewater concerns, and all the pieces that continue to be a challenge in this region. And, you know, as far as the mayor goes and council and manager of Beach Mountain here, we genuinely appreciate the relationship that we have with you all. I can tell you that these guys are strong in their leadership and advocacy for this community. There's very rarely here recently a week that goes by that I don't hear from one of them.
Good news, bad news.
Good news, bad news. That's right. And so that's what we're here for. We have to hear it all. As I say in a lot of situations, we don't know what we don't know. So if we don't have people, strong leaders, strong community advocates, like the leadership that you have here in Beach Mountain, we don't know what the situation is, and therefore we cannot even begin to correct the problem if we don't know about it. So I genuinely appreciate the relationship that we have. We're going to continue to work. Senator Budd's going to continue to work and lead on finding solutions for the problems that western North Carolina continue to face. And you know, just appreciate the time to be here, and happy to answer any questions that the council has, or that Bob has, or Mayor that you have, whatever we need to do from this point. So.
What's our next step?
So I will tell you, you know, that Senator Budd had the opportunity a few weeks ago. I lose track of time, but he met with the regional FEMA administrator. He met with the the now Senate confirmed FEMA Administrator Cameron Hamilton. The situation here in Beech Mountain was he brought it up directly to both of those individuals. And so now that Administrator Hamilton is confirmed and is in the seat, we're in a position where we are pulling all levers that we know to pull to make sure that not just Beech Mountain, but whether you're talking about Spruce Pine and wastewater problems or pedestrian bridges across the North Toe River or wherever these hangups exist with the federal government, that we're making FEMA aware of it, and we'll continue to have those conversations, pulling all the levers and doing everything that we can to move the needle in the right direction on your behalf.
Didn't Senator Budd specifically mention Beech Mountain when he was on the House floor?
Yes, on the Senate floor, Beech Mountain was in his floor speech when he notified the body that he would be a no vote on the supplemental if the supplemental appropriations package did not include additional funding for Western North Carolina. So Beech Mountain was the only town, county, community that was mentioned in that floor speech.
So we've had a lot of hurdles that we've had to combat with, and I want to give Justin and his office, Senator Budd, a lot of credit because they've made these hurdles. They've been some pretty large hurdles, and they've made them smaller, which we still have a long way to go before we get to the federal funds that we need for our water project. But Justin, you've been instrumental in your assistance and your office assistance, and we're very indebted to your help.
I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
There's no debt. I mean, I think we're all in a position to serve the communities that we represent. I think that's what we're all trying to do to our best ability. It don't always look like that to the general public, but I think that we all do make that effort. So.
Very good.
But we thank you for the relationship that
Thank
is
you. I
developed.
appreciate that. Absolutely.
You guys have any questions? Council have any questions?
Yep.
All right, well, I told you I'd get you in and out.
Yes, sir.
Now's your time to
I
exit.
hope, I don't mean to be rude, but my daughter will be serving her first varsity volleyball in 2 hours here in a little bit, so I'm gonna head down the mountain, but I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Don't speed.
No speed. I can make it an hour and a half, follow the speed limit, I think, so.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Very good. I tell you, Justin and his office has been a blessing to Beech Mountain. We wouldn't have had the things that would have occurred if it wouldn't be for without him, and I'll just go ahead and make the announcement now. Next month, we've got our North Carolina Senator Hayes will be here, Ray Pickett, House of Representatives, and also Dudley Green, who's with House of Representatives. Those three guys were instrumental in giving Beech Mountain a $4 million grant 3 weeks ago, Chief.
Yes, sir.
So we want to recognize them and let them know we need more. So anyhow, it was a pleasure having Justin here and taking time out of his schedule to speak to us. Public comment. This is a time for the public to address their elected officials on issues not on the agenda. The town council is interested in hearing your concerns. However, speakers should not expect council to deliberate on items brought forth. Our first person is Linda Strong. If you'll state your address, please, for Emily.
211 Wild Daisy Lane. I'm still beating the dead horse about the dump. We haven't gotten a lot of feedback on why it's being closed. We've heard different things, staff costs, but you're keeping the staff, so that's not an issue. And I've heard a rumor that it's because there's no more recycling, but you're going to keep it open 2 days a month for recycling. So it doesn't seem like that's an issue, so we've never been clear. And everybody I've talked to and followed on the Beech Mountain Facebook page is all against it. And some of us, like me, will have a really hard time paying for a steel barricade. And it would be lovely if the town would help subsidize that for some of us. We're forced to have that. If, however, I got a wooden one because I don't rent, Another issue is on my street, several people that do have the steel barricades, their flag stays up for 2 weeks at a time. So if I had a wooden bin and the truck didn't come by, then of course the bear would destroy it and then they would throw the litter around and I would get a fine. And somebody said, well, call. Well, it doesn't do any good to call after it's already in the street. So that's, I mean, if this habit, is it going to be more efficient so that it's absolutely every day at a certain time that we know when to put the stuff out? So there's still some questions, and I thought we were going to have a meeting where we could ask these questions and get feedback, but I guess it was canceled. But another thing is, another rumor is that the reason it's closing is because you want to sell the land for commercial development. And my question is, if we need commercial development, why has the blue building been empty for 25 years? That could be used. A lot of us have also said that we would be willing to pay an extra $5 a month for the trash pickup if we didn't have to get the barricade. And I did some math, and at $5 a month, it would take 20 years to buy a barricade at $5 a month. So we're all willing to do that, pretty much. Yeah, so we elected you to represent us and speak for us, and it doesn't seem like you're hearing us, because I haven't talked to anybody that is in favor of closing the dump, so that's all.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Urs?
Urs Snyder, 124 Raven Road. I am going to talk about an item that's actually on the agenda. I hope you'll give me an opportunity to do that. I want to talk about the rollout trash containers. While I appreciate council's willingness to consider an option once they decided to close this convenience center, I don't think this is the right alternative. And there's 3 good reasons why it's not. The first is there's a almost $40,000 capital cost associated with doing this. Now, you're closing the convenience center purportedly to save $200,000. So why would you spend $548,000 when you're closing the convenience center for $200,000? The second is the only rollout container that apparently works would cost residents $1,600 and would weigh about 160 pounds empty. I would challenge any of you to come to my driveway. We are below the road, and see if you could push a 160-pound rollout trash container up to where it's going to have to be. The mayor and I don't always agree on a lot of things, but apparently we agree on this.
Y'all better move over. Lightning's getting ready to strike. All around it.
I think Bob's recommendation that this is a bad idea is in fact the right one, and I would hope council, after considering it, would say this is not the way to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Scott Maloney?
Hey, I'm Scott Maloney at 112 Hummingbird Lane. I'm here to speak about the Beach Mountain Parkway paving project that was taken off the budget for this year. I understand for financial reasons the reason for that, and I, as being a homeowner, I understand the challenges that you guys face trying to put together a budget for all the projects that we need, and paving is certainly an ongoing problem. Even though my address is Hummingbird Lane, the bottom of my property is right on Beach Mountain Parkway, so I'm privy to all the increased traffic that's going on there now. And when I bought the house 10 years ago, it really wasn't a problem. Seldom did I even hear a vehicle go down through there. But in the last few years, the problem has become really, really bad. I mean, it's potholes all throughout the road. I know it's incredibly difficult for the town to maintain that gravel that's there now from where the paving stops all the way to the city limits. We all know, you guys probably know, the Eagles Nest Mountain. Eagles Nest paved it to the city limits. But, I heard some public comments in some past meetings that I attended this past year about people in opposition to trying to pave that last remaining portion. Well, you know, we all know that there's a lot of gravel roads in our city that, you know, we all would like to see paved. But this one is becoming like a little highway. And so it's much more noisy. You know, Eagles Nest did pave up to the city limits, and you'd like to think, well, maybe why didn't they just keep going with it? Well, they're not gonna offer to do something on Beach Mountain property, we all know that. And we all know that the RC excavation trucks are a big part of the problem, because they come pounding down through there, and they're making a bad problem worse, because there's more rivets and potholes, and they go bang, 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 all the way up the road. So it's a noise issue for people that want to enjoy their property here. You know, it's a dust issue, but we all know that dust is everywhere if you don't live on a paved road, and I understand that. But this particular road is really bad. So I know it was not, Mr. Putney put it in for the budget for this coming year, and I know it was taken out, which, you know, I understand that, and I, you know, would like to have seen it done, but, you know, I would like to see it put back in the budget for next year, and, you know, consider it again when you guys come up with, you know, when the budget gets discussed, try to find a way. It seems to me that the money we're spending maintaining that road could easily, the project would pay for itself in about 10 years. That's my rough understanding of it with my discussions with Mr. Putney. So anything that would pay for itself in 10 years sounds like a good deal to me. So I'm just here to speak in favor of that particular project in the event that it comes up again in future. I know that there are people that you hear from that want to complain and don't want to do it. So I want you to hear from somebody that does want to do it. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
James Estes?
Hello. I have two things. First and foremost, I am actually the owner of Beach Mountain Barabins, and I kind of just wanted to introduce myself to the public. You probably see me around, going out, doing the steel installation. I'm local from here. I live right off Birchwood. Basically, I just want to kind of come in. I know the big debate between the convenience center closing. Obviously, everybody has opinions about that. I'm just here, kind of offering my services. As a local person, I make sure the commitment to the public that all my Barabins are all placed in correctly, leveled. I'm also the cheapest in terms of the selling on the market. I know I have competition around here for Barricade and a couple others, but as a local, I try to do as much as I can to help local Beach Mountain public, because obviously, you know, you're a part of my community. So I just kind of wanted to get out there and just show my face. You know, a lot of people have questioned, who is this person running around on people's properties? It's just me. The other thing I wanted to bring up is because of Birchwood Lane. My wife and I have lived here about 6 years at this point. The gravel road, unfortunately, has kind of become degraded over the course of years, especially as of late. We live quite literally on a slope that has been basically people driving up the slope, getting stuck. I've had multiple cars literally fall into the ditch right next to my property. And I just wanted the council to kind of be aware of this, as in it's basically become, especially during the winter time, High South, they make record profits off our street. And I was wondering if they could possibly come in, take a look, possibly regrade that area. I know that there's been confliction of my property and where the actual road is, but the road itself, I've had an estimator come out and look, and there is a specific gravel area which has a very big indentation that is, as I said, it's becoming a safety hazard for people, especially renters coming in during the winter time. And if they could possibly take a look at it. Once again, it's not the entirety of Birchwood, but it's between 202 and probably about 216. Birchwood Lane is got just enough potholes, it's becoming quite a safety hazard. And I've had one or two cars almost slam into my vehicle, Park Parkway. Other than that, once again, I'm Beach Mountain Barabins, so if you all are considering buying a Barabin, obviously based on what town council says. Obviously, come talk to me. I give you fair rates, and I make sure you're taken care of.
Thank you.
Thank you. Francis, I don't know how to pronounce your last name.
You're funny,
Francis Edwards, 1005 Beach Mountain Parkway, apartment 306. I'm just here to say that start looking for information coming out that we will be having a second quote get-together around the time that we had Helene happen. So we're not sure where we're going to have it, but be on the lookout for a lot of stuff on social media.
Thank you.
So Francis was responsible for National Night Out last Thursday. We had a fantastic turnout, plenty of food, games, and it was, I don't like giving her credit, but she did a nice job.
She did a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate your support.
You
on
didn't
Beach
keep the
Mountain.
rain away, I don't know, lost your powers.
Okay. Consent agenda. Need a motion to accept the consent agenda?
Motion?
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Okay, new business. At this time, we have a proclamation for a young man that's, how long you been in scouting? Wilson? Cub Scouts, Webelos?
I went through Cub Scouts for probably 8 years.
Yeah, very good. And would you like to stand up and, I'm gonna put you on the spot. You wanna say the scout oath or the scout law?
I can do that.
Okay?
Which one would you like?
Whichever one you wanna say.
So this is the scout oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God, my country, and to obey the scout law. Tell other people at all times, keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
Very good. Very good. And would you also like to come to the mic and tell us about your Eagle project in a couple of minutes? And then we'll, go ahead and come up now. And then we'll have Sean Royal present you with the proclamation. Get right into the mic here.
So, for those who don't know, my Eagle Scout project was to rebuild the bridge at the beginning of the Lower Pond Creek Trail. Me and my family have enjoyed hiking that trail for a long time, and it was very unfortunate for us when Hurricane Helene came in and destroyed those bridges. So I decided that I thought it would be a good idea to use my Eagle Scout project for a good for the town, and also to try and help reopen one of the trails that my family has so enjoyed. So through some trial and error, we were able to establish a date with the assistance of Sean. So thank you very much for all that. Okay. Then we went down there. We started with all of the planking. I had a couple of volunteers that came and helped with most of the bridge, and then it was a 2-day process. The first day, we did all of the boards and the railing posts, and then the last day, we installed all of the handrails and guardrails. It was a great experience, and I hope I can convince other people in my troop to help with other parts and things here.
Very good.
Read the proclamation, and we'll get that flag from, which I'm going to need back. A proclamation honoring Wilson Reed for his outstanding service to the town of Beach Mountain and the restoration of Lower Pond Creek Trail. Whereas the town of Beach Mountain is a community defined by its natural beauty, resilience, and the strong character of its residents, and whereas on September 26, 2024, Hurricane Helene brought catastrophic flooding to our region, causing severe damage to our infrastructure, including the destruction of the bridge on the Lower Pond Creek Trail, a vital pathway for hikers and nature enthusiasts. And whereas the loss of this bridge not only disrupted access to our beloved trails, but also represented a significant challenge to our community's recovery efforts. And whereas Wilson Reed, a dedicated young leader from Charlotte, North Carolina, and a member of Scout Troop 256, recognized the urgent need to restore this connection to nature. And whereas Wilson Reed undertook the monumental task of designing and rebuilding the bridge on the Lower Pond Creek Trail as his Eagle Scout project, demonstrating exceptional leadership, planning, and perseverance. And whereas through his tireless work, Wilson Reed mobilized volunteers, secured necessary resources, and personally contributed countless hours of labor to ensure the safe and timely completion of the new bridge. And whereas the restoration of this bridge stands as a testament to Wilson Reed's commitment to service, his respect for the environment, and his desire to leave the world better than he found it. Now therefore I, Widener Abernathy, Mayor of the town of Beech Mountain, do hereby proclaim this day as a day of recognition for Wilson Reed. Signed.
Mr. Mayor.
No, good deed goes
Get in there, Mayor.
Just wait more time. Hold on, get the mayor in there. He's always over for a picture.
We have any other Eagle Scouts that are in here by chance? Very good. So same here. All right, thank you so much.
You have multiple bridges to be built?
Good job.
I've been in scouting for about 40 years, Eagle Scout, Scoutmaster for about 22 years. It's probably been, and my son was an Eagle Scout, and a lot of my family members. The troop in our area was Troop 1. And it started back when, what was the gentleman's name that started Scouts in like 1940? Powell? Powell. Yeah, so, but scouting, I mean, it taught me a lot of outdoor skills, first aid skills, association with the community, nation, world, things about the government, and it was a great opportunity. So I hope you shared the same positive experiences that I did. And congratulations. Wish you well with your future endeavors. All right. Item 8.2, this is Constitution Week. There's a proclamation for the Daughters of the American Revolution. Okay. So this is for the Daughters of the American Revolution. Now therefore, I don't want to say my name, Widener Abernathy, Mayor of the town of Beech Mountain, North Carolina, do hereby proclaim the week of September the 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week, and urge all citizens to study the Constitution and reflect on the privilege of being an American with all the rights, responsibilities which that privilege involves. In witness whereof, I hereby unto you set my hand and cause the seal of the town to be fixed on the 11th of August in the year of our Lord 2026.
They have asked for a picture of all council with a proclamation.
Here's my beers. The daughters. Daughters here?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate your time. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. You as well. Take care, man. Thank you. We're not presuming
I'm a DAR across north.
Okay. You want
Any daughters here?
There you go. Valley Forge and, this is. Oh,
I need a motion for the stormwater engineering agreement.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Mayor, if you would approve that pursuant to legal review, that there are two minor changes in their terms and conditions that Mr. Pudney and I want to address.
Okay.
If we can do that, please.
Yes, sir. Would it need a second for your request? Yes.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Thank you.
4.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Chief, do you want to, any discussion on this, guys? You want to say something? You want to say a few words about this, please?
Yes, this is, the Withers Ravenel is the engineering firm that you selected for our stormwater management. They are continuing to work on the stormwater utility, which that'll be back to you in late fall, early spring. This particular encounter is at Lake Road in the Parkway, where the town has attempted to make mitigation when we have heavy rains. It floods across there, washes out down towards Lake Road. We replaced the culvert, upsized the culvert, changed the drain, paved the ditches, and it didn't work. So it's apparent that we need some help looking farther beyond just that culvert crossing. So Withers Ravenel came out and took a look at it, and we want to engage them to look at the watershed that actually starts up along Village Road, North Ridge, Maple, and it all converges on that single culvert. And what we need to do is look at the hydraulic flow, determine what culverts, probably additional culverts at different locations to start directing the flow down the mountain. So this really couldn't wait for the stormwater utility. And it's something that we need to address. We need to get it engineered. This contract will get us to a bid. It will not do construction management, and it is a $20,000 fee for that, and we should see something in the spring.
Mr. Mayor, the two changes that we will address will be the current agreement has a limitation of damages that needs to be addressed, and there's also a dispute resolution arbitration clause, and that needs to be addressed as well. I've adjusted this under the Withers Ravenel contract for other municipalities, and they've agreed to the changes, so I don't anticipate this being a problem.
Okay. You need anything from council? Any further discussion on this?
If this meets with your approval with us negotiating those two minor changes, it'd be appropriate to approve.
Okay. All in favor? Any opposed? Same sign. Very good. Next item is a public hearing on the Community Development Block Grant. I need a motion to open this up for a public hearing.
Motion to open.
Second.
Would anyone like to speak on this? Going once, twice? Okay, I need a motion to close. Second. Chief, would you like to say a few words on this, please?
Yes, Mayor. The public hearing is required for a CDBG-DR. It's a Community Development Block Grant. Disaster relief is what all those letters stand for. The town is applying for a $15 million grant for Lake Coffee. This federal program requires a special public hearing, of which you just held. It also has a public comment period through, I believe, August 21st, and where we will receive comments from the public on our application. When that period closes, we'll put all those comments together, attach it to the application. It's due September 8th. And what this grant does, it hopefully will allow us to access $15 million towards the Lake Coffee project. Building the dam specifically is what this grant was written for. It will include the force main that goes down to the water plant. That is the maximum, 15 million. I would have asked for more, but that's the maximum that this grant is available to ask for. So that public comment period will remain open. The town clerk will take those comments. We have a presentation that's online. Town clerk made some copies and put it out on the table. And the application is a draft application. Obviously, we have to get our public comments and then finalize the application. So the public will be reviewing a draft application. That is also available at Town Hall through the town clerk. And then, Mayor, the next item you have is a resolution accepting what I just said, this grant, so that we can apply for it. It's a zero match, so there is no tax dollars match it from the town, and it's something that we need to take advantage of.
Any time frame of response, or is this, goes on forever?
Well, no, it doesn't go on forever. We did a pre-application in the summertime, and now we're doing the complete, full application September 8th. It will be scored. It's a national competitive grant, so it's very difficult because we're up against all the other community development block grant in the nation. So to answer your question, we should hear something at least on whether it's going to move to the next round by January.
It's 55 million to the state, right? So we're against everybody else in the state competing for
Correct.
it. Do we know who the other applicants are by chance?
Well, we do not. And we won't know until the 8th when they're all in.
All right, gotcha.
So you guys in any questions, any additional questions?
I need you to vote on 8.5.
We will.
Okay.
So item 8.5, as Chief said, this is a block grant resolution. I need a motion to accept this.
Motion.
Any second? Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Item 8.6, roll out trash cans. I need a motion to accept this. Need a motion open, sorry.
Second.
Storm on us.
Sorry?
Storm's on us.
Yeah.
I hear it.
I'm just looking out.
Hope everybody's got their windows up. It got dark quick.
We got a generator.
Whether it works, that's something else.
I got the EAP.
Any discussion on the rollout trash containers?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it all. The trash container that is out there is not what I had envisioned when we talked about rollout trash bins. I still think there is a place in town, in this community, where a rollout trash bin could be beneficial to a homeowner. I'm not in favor, if it's gonna cost $250,000 plus, to be able to implement that pickup of those containers. So I believe that it should be an option, but that's not an option. So where are we on that? That's my opinion.
Aren't we at the same price as the barricades with the rollout metal trash containers?
It's $510
Okay.
is what they
Well,
reported
let's
back
see,
here in
one
the
that's
report.
$1,686.
The one that's $500, whatever 500 is change, that doesn't meet the,
That's the bear proof bin, Kelly.
that doesn't
That's
meet
not
the
And do
ordinance.
we require different vehicles to be able to pick these things up to empty?
Well, I think that's what I see is proposed here, right?
Yes.
We're talking about a totally different collection vehicle.
Sorry, I didn't mean-
Well, a device.
Yeah, I'm not You know, I'm the one that wanted to bring this forward after we had our discussion about the convenience center, and I appreciate staff's time on working on this. You know, as Urs said in his public comments, you know, if it's $538,000 to implement this, that's obviously cost prohibitive. I don't know that that's the true number. Not knowing what we have just bought as a new trash truck, having seen the old one drive off on the flatbed on my way in here. It does have the cutout in the slot to put in a bin tipper on it, which is, I don't know, at the most $10,000. So that's all I got.
All right, any other discussion?
So per the ordinance, just a quick question on that. If people decide to not do a rollout trash can and decide to take their trash to Buckeye or any other place, they still don't have to buy the bear bin per the ordinance that's sitting right here, or do they have to?
No, ma'am. The ordinance has been in effect since 1989, and it requires every resident to have a bin. And a wooden bin is the minimum requirement if you're not a renter. If you do short-term rental, which is defined in the ordinance, then you're required to have a metal bear-resistant bin. So currently, except the people in 2021, there's approximately about 105 left, that the town offered a waiver from the ordinance. Set those aside, every residence is required and has been required to have a bear bin, a bear-resistant bin, and it's either wood or metal, depending on your situation.
So starting October 1st, are we seeing fines hitting people that do not have a bin, or are we just kind of?
Well, that's a tough question to answer. The ordinance requires a bear bin at every resident except for the ones that have a valid waiver. So those residences that do not have a waiver and do not have a trash bin are in violation of town ordinance. Hopefully that answers your question. Specifically on October 1st, I don't intend to initiate a special enforcement program on bins.
So can we get clarity on, there was one bin that was mentioned around $560.
That's this one here.
And then there's another one, $1,600.
Right.
The one for $560 doesn't meet the ordinance?
It does not meet the ordinances before you today.
Okay.
So staff, we had limited direction. So when we were asked to produce a bin requirements, I told them to use the existing requirements on bear resistant and metal, wood, those type of things. So they went out and they purchased 2 bins. They purchased the plastic bin that you see out here now, and it does not meet the ordinance that's before you today. So if you were to pass the ordinance tonight, that bin would not be compliant. Neither would the ones you find at Lowe's that are less. They're less than $100. The $1,600 is a metal, bear-resistant rollout container. It's extremely heavy. Town has one, and it does meet the minimum requirements based on the gauge of metal and the latching mechanism and things like that. And if I could just briefly talk about the truck, because there's been some discussion. So we have a replacement garbage truck in the budget that you approved for $260,000, and I've held off ordering that. We need it desperately because, as you saw, one of them left on a flatbed. I've held off on that because it does require a different apparatus on the back of the truck to pick those containers up. And if you were going to approve this, I didn't want to have a truck that I'd ordered that didn't meet that requirement. So in my memo to you, the $538,000 is a second truck that we would have to buy that we don't currently have budgeted. So your unbudgeted amount would be about $278,000. That's what's currently unbudgeted. Councilman Stanford's correct, we can retrofit or we can add, it's about $8,000 to the one that's currently on hold, but it's budgeted. The unbudgeted amount is about $278,000. And as I pointed out to you, that would then have to be borne by all the users of the sanitation system. And my problem is I have no way of telling how many of these ROTCs, roll-out trash containers, there are going to be. So I can't, I've got to buy the equipment to service those. Particularly if you go with the metal, if this ordinance were to pass tonight, then it would be a $1,600 roll-out metal container, which is extremely heavy. We couldn't even start picking those up till I get the truck and the equipment. So hopefully my note to you was comprehensive enough to explain that, but that's where we are. So it's really about a $278,000 unbudgeted expense.
So as I understand it, these 105 waivered households, they still free to do whatever they want.
Well, that number has come down. So what we did, the town was threatened with a lawsuit back in June, if you recall the public hearing, that we had given out these waivers and we were going to just magically rescind those and we were going to have a class action suit, if you recall the comments. That was never the case. We sent those 105 current waiver owners a new waiver with an explanation that the convenience center was going to be closed for all household garbage and that they needed to make a decision to re-engage, re-up their waiver and clarify where they would take their solid waste. The first waiver did that as well, and most of them said they were taking it to the convenience center. So the waiver was never invalidated. So we mailed those out and we got a fairly good number back. Probably the majority did not up the waiver and made other arrangements. I assume they're putting in bins. We didn't receive the waiver back and we didn't receive any explanation. So that number, I don't have it currently. I will. That number will be reduced, and those people with the waiver had to tell the town what their plans were for their solid waste. Without exception, I don't believe, I have to approve each one. They're taking it to a convenience center off the mountain. I believe there was one waiver that was going to take it home to wherever their other home was. So I want to clarify that number is now going to be, I think, substantially reduced.
Any other questions?
So what's our action and next steps here? Do we just table this and not take a vote on it? Or we have to vote it no?
Council has a number of options. You can approve it as is. You can vote to not approve this. You could table it and send it back to staff with additional instruction, or you can simply take no action and then the matter drifts off to sea and is effectively tabled if there's no action on it.
So I'll be the bad guy here. A lot of folks have put in these bear resistant bins. They've spent, between $1,200 to $1,500, and I think a lot of folks saw that this was coming. And, in my opinion, I would think, and I'm gonna be careful with this number, it's the guesstimate that 103 or 105 is probably down to somewhere around 50. We spent way too much time with the staff putting together these numbers, and it's cost prohibitive to do this. And I'm in favor of not passing rollout containers. I mean, we've kicked this can down the road. We've been discussing it for quite some time, and let's move on.
I make a motion to say no to this.
So we got 2 no's.
Mr. Mayor, is there a second to that motion? This would be a motion to.
Anybody want a second?
I'll second.
All right.
I mean, I'm not in favor of this as written, but I still think we should look at some leeway and options. To spend this kind of money with that, like I said in my opening comments, it makes no sense. So in that sense, I'm a no on this ordinance. But I would like to keep it open and listen and see what may come down the road, may not.
What was the year the ordinance was written?
89.
1980
1989.
Don't you remember?
So we could, I think I was like 8. No, I'm just kidding. Perhaps.
I challenge that.
And I hate to go back to staff again, but maybe relook at the ordinance to see if, I mean, I hate to roll it out there, and I know I'm gonna get vitriol over this, but we used to be able to put regular trash cans at the bottom of the driveways.
No, you haven't been.
Well.
Not by ordinance. Early,
And it's just something to throw out there, you know, if we put a time limit on it, 7 AM to 9 AM, when we know the trucks are coming.
You're gonna have that all up in the woods.
And then your problem would be, yeah, just people need to realize they're gonna get a bear fine if the bears get in there. It just, like I said, I'm sure I'll get all the hate mail.
All right, so
But it's just maybe something to look at, or,
so we're at a 4-0 to not pass the rollout trash can. Stanford, you got it.
Do we actually call a vote?
That's
I
what
heard
we're getting ready.
motions.
We're
I
getting
didn't
ready.
hear- I
Well, we
didn't
got
hear
a
vote.
second. So
I thought we were just gonna let it sail off in the sunset myself.
That's the same thing as a no.
hey, with that rain out there, we can do it.
It'll float. Sure. You wanna call a vote? Call a vote. Or what do you wanna do?
What do we do?
Do you wanna make a motion for no too?
So you did have a pending motion to not proceed with the roll-off bins.
So does that mean it goes off into the sunset?
So if you would call the question, then that would deny this as presented.
Call the question.
Certainly, this can be readdressed by council in the future if you wish to do so, but that is the pending motion for today.
Okay, so we need to take a vote on it, or let it go?
So you have a pending
I
motion, so you
put
should.
a motion
you
to
should
say
take-
no
Okay.
to
Yes, sir.
what
Very
we got
good.
here. And I think there's a second sitting out there.
All right, so item 8.7, this is the.
Hold on.
Mayor, call
What
for
do
a vote.
we call a vote?
Oh, I thought you said I
Yes,
didn't
sir.
have to.
You would need to call the vote. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All in favor of being opposed to the rollout trash cans?
No, all in favor of the.
All in, what?
All in favor of the.
Not in favor.
You said. All in favor
Yeah, of the ordinance.
of the
And
ordinance?
so,
Mr. Mayor, the motion is to not proceed with the roll-off bins. If you wish to not proceed with this, council would vote aye.
That's what I said the first time. All in
I thought it
motion
was
not to
I thought
proceed.
we vote on this.
Okay,
Aye.
Aye.
all right.
And those opposed?
I'm not opposed. I'm an aye. I don't want to see it.
Hey, another 5.
All right.
You got it.
There we go.
That's why I said I knew it was gonna get confusing.
Well, it was.
Trying to get it straightened out.
Come on. For you. Well, okay.
Just paid him a lot of money for that.
That's right. Very good. All right, guys. Item 8.7, I need a motion to approve or open the Elder Bridge Trailhead Agreement.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Chief, you want to?
Mayor, should the council vote to approve this similarly to the Withers Ravenel, the town attorney needs to make some edits to the agreement. This is a land lease funded wholly by the TDA for a trailhead on the Elder property. It's an 80-year lease, which seems really long, and it is. And the purpose of that is so that we don't find ourselves in the same position we are with the Emerald Outback. As you know, with the Emerald Outback, it's kind of well, we do have an agreement. It's a short 1 or 2 year agreement, but we've put a lot of resources into Emerald Outback, and we stand to lose those every 2 years. So trails have been a big issue with the town. And so the Parks and Rec reached out to the Elder family and actually found property that's up on top near the Pinnacle and things like that to put in another trail system. We don't want to lease or pay for trail property. That would, again, encourage others to charge us for that. But we do need a trailhead and a parking area. And so they've determined a parcel of land, a part of a parcel of land that they want to lease for 80 years. And they've agreed, the TDA and the Elder family, to do this. The section that, and I'll let, maybe you want to talk, but the town attorney and I would like to add a section that says this is, because it's 80 years and we'll all not be here, we want to ensure that this is pending funding each year by either the TDA, or if some future council wants to fund this out of tax dollars, they can. But currently, it's designed to be paid 100% by TDA funds.
So do we need to table this for the next meeting while you get the verbiage, or?
Yes, sir. The other changes that I would have would be to the legal boilerplate towards the end, dealing with venue, how we deal with liens, those kind of items. Council can either vote to approve it subject to revisions by my office, or you can table it till next month, and then we'll have an updated draft to you that has that language in it for your specific review. Council's preference.
You guys good waiting until next month?
Yeah, I've got just a question on the agreement. I mean, it's a $5,000 a month payment, $60,000 a year. Who's paving the parking lot for the trailhead, or creating the parking lot for the trail? Is that being done by the homeowner, the property owner?
No.
Or
That would be done by the town, or hopefully, well, we would ask the TDA to fund that. The town's not prepared to do that with taxpayer money.
are we paying similar fees for trails?
Not for trails, and we don't want to do that.
I mean, this, to me, is a big number. It's $70,000 a year.
Yeah, it's 65,000, it's about $5,700 a month.
Right.
And it has a CPI index
Yes.
as we go forward, and it's for an extended period of time.
And we have to build a trail.
The town would be responsible to build trails, access,
Right.
but currently the town has no land there to do anything. And if we want to secure that for the future, that's what we'd have to do.
I mean, it's a big nut, big undertaking. You know, I always short on trails, or, you know, I appreciate.
End up with the possibility of losing Emerald Outback.
We
every
always
2
do have that,
years,
that's
or every
true.
year. So that's the other, when
But
we're
if
weighing
Emerald-
That's
this.
the catch-20. I agree
But
with
if
you
the
saying.
Emerald Outback is, we're paying $65,000 a year for this trail, what are they gonna demand?
The town owns the trailhead at Emerald Outback.
Yes.
So the difference is that we're not leasing trails, and we really don't want to do that. We don't want to get into that
So this is just for the
parking
access.
lot and the trailhead. So we're leasing the trailhead. The town currently owns the trailhead at Emerald Outback.
Right. Okay, thank you for that.
So we're trying to make that distinction. It's not a secret, you know, the owner of the Emerald Outback Trails is aware of this and would like to be involved as well. It's really a decision of the town, what you want to do going forward. Do we want to have trails? Do we want to secure a different area? This area is available at this price, and we've got the TDA to agree to make this a legacy grant, which means they'll fund it. And when they don't, we would like the town to have the option to fund it, which would not support, or we would lose it.
Would we have any available grants for the $60,000 paving project?
The lease?
No, I thought you said it was gonna cost like $60,000 to pave the parking lot.
No, the lease is $65,000 a year. I doubt we would ever pave the parking lot. It would be a
Okay.
gravel trailhead.
Somebody was talking about paving the parking lot.
No.
It would
So-
be like Emerald Outback, it'd be gravel, most likely.
So any improvement to the property would be at our expense.
Right.
And we currently have nothing budgeted to do that and no plans to do that. This is to secure the parcel property.
For a trailhead, a trail that doesn't exist yet.
Correct. Well, it's a little hard for me to build a trail on private property that I don't have
This is
access to.
step one,
I know it sounds bad, but I can't go out there and build a trail on private property.
So you guys wanna table this to next month?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna,
I'm in
in favor of
agreement,
it
let's
today.
get the legal terms.
Yeah.
Is there, besides the legal, is there something I can do to bring you some more information?
Is there any type of paper documentation on the parking lot and access, and, or is that all still kind of?
Well,
up in the air?
we've identified the parcel and we've identified how we'll get there. We've got the parcel surveyed, TDA paid for that. But right now, there's no conceptual plan for the trailhead. The trailhead is gonna be a gravel, typical gravel area to park, walk to. And Parks and Rec would be required, they would be expected to put that plan together as we move forward, and you'd probably see that during the next budget. But I want to make sure if you've got some apprehension, if there's information I can bring to you, or you just tell us, you know, this isn't something you're willing to do.
You know, TDA gets what, $3 million a year, so we're taking 2% of their budget, 2% of their revenue, and
Listen,
dictating it. This, I mean, based upon what I'm seeing here, I would not be in favor of this. But if there's
Okay.
more information that you could bring that would, I don't know what that would be.
Well, that's what I'm kind of asking.
Yeah,
I want
I don't
to
know
be
what
able
that
to,
would
I want to be able to accommodate what you want. That's the concept.
Yeah.
When it was brought to me, I don't want the town taxpayer to pay for it. We can't fund it out of the general fund.
Yeah, exactly.
The TDA was taken to them during their budget retreat. They voted for it and put it in place. It's timely to come before you now. We've negotiated the lease with the property owner. If this isn't something the council wants to do, we won't do it.
I'm just curious, what's your concern with the town doing this?
My concern is the cost.
But TDA's paying for,
TDA is still town money.
well, it is, but it's part of the tourism. People come up here to hike.
I know,
mean,
and
it falls underneath that umbrella.
yeah, but it also sets a precedence for other trailheads.
True.
That it does.
Yeah. So, I mean, this 65,000 turns into 100,000, turns into 150,000.
Well, it's with this property, it's at a fixed, well, at the CPI, but it's $60,000 annually for what, 80
80 years.
contract?
It's an 80-year term. You know, I guess the issue is the town has no land available to it that we control.
Right.
And trails seem to have been a popular thing in our town for the last decade. And so if we want to continue, well, if we want to look in the crystal ball and see what we have currently for trails, which, you know, you have a development that's being proposed where our Emerald Outback sits now. If we want to preserve that ability, this is an option. If there's another option out there you want me to look at, I will.
So you say preserve this opportunity, and I kind of look at it as an insurance policy for the next 80 years to ensure that when folks come to Beach Mountain, they're gonna have hiking trails. I mean, I was at Emerald Outback this weekend, and I mean, it was standing room only. It was packed.
Hey, there's no doubt about it that a draw of this mountain is the trails, no doubt. And, you know, I think that's probably why the TDA says, yes, we should be funding this. And I don't want to go against what their wishes are, but I found myself doing that quite a bit with the TDA. But like I say, it's a big nut.
Well, if I could, I want to be clear. So this lease would lease a trailhead.
Right.
The trails that don't exist would then be put on that property, some of which we control with other leases, and some currently do not. So this isn't a guarantee of the trailhead creating miles and miles of trails that we would have control on. Some of it goes on protected, goes into the bog, goes into some protected area that would never be developed. But this doesn't ensure for 80 years that we'll have
a trail
other than a trailhead.
Yeah.
So let's be clear about that.
Can we, when you bring this back next month, can you add like a satellite overhead shot?
Sure.
With what we usually get with the track?
We got a drone.
Plot on it.
I can bring you the like a Google with the trailhead
Yeah.
parcel that we're leasing.
Yeah,
Um,
just so I can understand it better.
Do you want me to have the Parks and Rec Department put together a preliminary trail map?
They've got something sitting
I
there
think that'd
already.
give us a better snapshot of
Yeah, I
what's
think
in
that
front of
would
us.
That help?
a lot.
Sure.
Okay,
I know Shawnee probably has something sitting in his desk.
I believe he does. I believe he does.
So
All
if
right,
we table
we'll-
this the
we'll
next
do
month,
that.
what do you, before we need to take a vote on this, to table it for next month, or just?
There's no pending motion, so as presiding officer, you can declare it tabled to next month, or you could take a vote, your preference.
I think we're all in favor of tabling it?
Yes.
Is that correct? All right, very good. Okay, chief.
All right, if you would just take a look at page 70 in your agenda, this is a financial report. It's, Steve has prepared this for us. We're in the first month of the budget, so, you know, the numbers make me really look good.
Yep.
On 73 is the summary of the three funds. I just want to point out that our sanitation fund, I had written to you on the rollout containers, is operating in the red. And as you recall, back when we started this discussion in May and I asked you for some direction, we were $77,000 in the red. We're at $27,000 in the red now. So the changes we made that you authorized back in May have cut that deficit by about $50,000. The plan is to be break even by October 1st. And then as we implement the closure to the convenience center, you'll see those budgetary savings throughout the remainder 3/4 of this budget. And then next year's budget, assuming there's no changes again, we'll begin to see that about $244,000 budgetary savings on the convenience center. So I don't know if you've got any questions on the financial package. Let me just go into my report. I'll make it as brief as I can. FEMA update. Well, you heard from Senator Budd's representative, and I think it's important to note that Senator Budd testified. He didn't just get up at the microphone. He testified at a hearing in the Senate, and he told President Trump in that testimony that he would not vote for any additional allocation of funds until additional funding for Western North Carolina due to lien recovery. And he specifically said the town of Beech Mountain and our water infrastructure. So that should not be just, oh, that's great. The town of Beech Mountain was mentioned at a Senate hearing, and so things have started to move. Go figure.
Yeah.
So we're starting to see some movement. We've adjusted how our plan is working. I brought on another set of consultants out of Hagerty. Their specialty is appealing FEMA denials, and their specialty was in Asheville, where they actually got FEMA to reverse their decision on some water treatment facilities being temporary, made them permanent. Very close nexus to Lake Coffee, and so we brought those same people on board, and we've got a new sense of direction and a new team of FEMA folks. Not our choice, they just keep changing, but we see some progress. Unfortunately, the timeline that I've been given is about October, middle of October, where we finish up, we get a presentation to FEMA, and we'll then hopefully have everything buttoned up, and it'll be our absolute best shot. As you heard, Cameron Hamilton is the new FEMA director. We have a direct conversation. I've had a direct conversation with him. We have a relationship with him. He's the one person who has the ability to say, make this happen. So I think there's a glimmer of light at the end of the tunnel. We did receive a $4 million direct appropriation from the state legislature in their budget that they passed. And that $4 million was directly appropriated for Lake Coffee. So we're in the process of accessing those funds. we'll combine those with about $14 million that we received before, as well as some other funding that we have in our pocket, and we'll begin moving forward to offset some of the FEMA dollars that FEMA requires you to do a benefit cost analysis, BCA, and it's very structured, and if it doesn't reach their threshold, you don't go any further. So these dollars will go a big way to reducing that BCA. Lake Coffey's been refilled after we drained it to do the core drilling, and we'll be restocking it with fish, and the floating pier has been rebuilt. Sean and his crew have been replacing all the rotted wood, and it's looking really well. The Charter Hills Road landslide, as well as the Buckeye Creek landslide at Shane Park. Charter Hills is the priority because it's closed. The contractor will be mobilizing on the 17th. We've got his schedule. He was confident that he could get it completed and paved before winter set in. I told him he's not been on Beech Mountain in October, but hopefully we'll get that moving. I'm not as confident that will occur as quickly as the contractor believes it will.
Is that being listed on one of these gambling sites where we can pay the
We should, because I'll take the over.
Yeah, exactly.
The water plant, the temporary intake pump has been installed and tested, so we're all set to go. We have an issue at the lake. We're not sure where all the water is going, and the engineers are working on that. We're receiving quite a bit of rain, and we have flow gauges at the top and bottom of the lake, and those gauges are telling us that the water isn't leaving the lake as it should, and so we're not currently sure of what's happening. So we're going through the data, we're going through what the water plant pulls out, we're going through what the rain is and what the gauges say, and trying to determine what's happening there. Buckeye Dam, which is the FEMA project, I'll continue reporting to you on it, but I won't really have much progress until probably October. The critical issue there, and a lot of people in government have missed the point, is we currently have no ability to release floodwaters. The main drain where the diver got stuck and we had that problem, that drain is inoperable. It's covered in debris and it doesn't operate, and that is a deficiency in our dam operation. The spillway, the emergency spillway, is also damaged by Helene. Although it will function, we don't have the ability to operate the drain valve, and we can't release floodwaters. So in another 50, 100-year storm, that could be catastrophic, and so we want to keep that in mind. The Pinnacle Ridge well, waiting on the contractor to drill a well. He was supposed to have it drilled weeks ago, and he was supposed to be here this week, and he'll be here next week. I've talked to you about that. We're incumbent upon him to drill the well. He's the one that damaged the original well, and it's on him to drill this well. So he's drilling wells where he's making money and not drilling our well, but hopefully we'll get that done. We have developed, because of the problems at Buckeye, staff, mostly at the water plant in under Daniel Davis, they've developed a very comprehensive source water supply shortage action plan. So we actually have a document that tells us what we're going to do when we have a supply shortage for various reasons. Pretty much any reason you can think of, other than a diver getting stuck in the drain at the bottom of the lake. Although we can deal with that. So that plan is in place. We've got that ready to go, and we've got the resources put together. So although we have a problem at the dam, although we have a problem with the drain, we've got a very comprehensive plan in place to be able to deal with that should something happen. We're also engineering some pumps that will sit on top of the dam to relieve some of the flood water. We can't have big enough pumps to match the drain, but we're going to get as close as we can, probably in the 20 to 40,000 gallons per minute. So those pumps, paid by FEMA, will sit on the dam probably for a year to 3 years.
Diesel pumps?
Diesel pumps, and they will be used during an emergency to remove water in front of the dam, over the dam. So that, you'll see that as we go forward. We applied for another round of cash flow loans from the state treasurer We asked for $3 million. As I reported to you, I think last month, we've reached our capacity to fund out-of-pocket projects that FEMA reimburses us for. FEMA has stalled, so either we wait and sit, or I go get more interest-free cash flow loan from the state treasurer. They've opened that up in the recent legislation, and we've made a request for $3 million. The bad news, FEMA clawed back right at $1 million cash that we had to pay them back. We had to write a check to FEMA, believe it or not, for $1 million. So the scenario, and it's legit, but the scenario is that if you remember back in the beginning, 674 days ago, we went through the debris removal process, and we received funds up front from FEMA to remove the debris based on an estimate of what the cost would be. We overestimated, they paid us the money, and quite honestly, we used the money for other projects as we went forward. They want it back, and they have held up other obligated funds until we repaid them. So the finance director sent the state, it goes back through the state, right at $1 million of clawback money. That hurt on the cash flow side. So we're square, but it's a bad time to have to write a check for $1 million to FEMA when they owe us, probably $20 million. So that brings us to grants. We have applied for a $30 million BRIC grant. There's issues with the benefit cost analysis. I wrote an email today, copied the mayor, sent it to everybody in state government to try and get that moving forward. That'll be a difficult challenge. The ARC grant of $1.4 million, we submitted that last week. That is for the commercial zone, the commercial district. You approved that. We asked for a grant to do some work on that commercial plan. We haven't heard from that, but that's been submitted. And then the CDB DR $15 million grant that you approved tonight. We'll go through the public hearing as I explained and get that moving. Paving, patching to start next week. The parking lot across the street that the TDA funded wants done, that'll be done. And we're patching all over the mountain, paved roads, the sides, the ditches, things like that. The Clondesca sewer lift station, you may have received calls, I certainly did. It failed during Helene. We had temporary repairs. We had to do permanent repairs, which required a pump around where we had to take sewage out of that lift station and pump it to the lift station behind Town Hall. That required an above ground pipe that had to cross Ski Loft Road. It was kind of an ingenious device they put down there. But anyways, it was successful. We had no leaks. The lift station is completely repaired and rebuilt, and the pump around is complete, and the people on Ski Loft that had to bump over the sewer line no longer have to do that. Okay, at the June 9th budget hearing, we were told by a resident that the town was leaving up to $3 million of utility fees on the table. If you recall, I believe it was Mr. Murgio brought it forward and said that we should be charging vacant properties for water and sewer that goes by, if you recall that. That was a pretty substantial claim, and obviously if I was leaving $3 million on the table, we needed to review that. So I engaged the town attorney to issue a formal written opinion, which he did, and I sent that to you. He can answer if you'd like, but basically we can't do what we were told we could without a special act of the legislature. Counties have the authority that Mr. Murgio was talking about. The town does not. And so at substantial expense, we have that opinion, and I just wanted to make sure that if you had any questions, the attorney was here tonight to answer that.
Yeah, why was this fee so high?
I thought it was a good deal.
It's whatever time it takes.
If you hopefully you all read that opinion. It was concise, very detailed, answers the question. We'll put it in the file in case that issue comes up again. Farmers Market last Friday had to be canceled due to lightning. We'll have another one on September 4th. And the last thing is, don't forget the Christmas parade. It's December 22nd.
Connie.
She's watching. That's all I've got, Mayor and Council, unless you've got anything for me.
Anyone have any questions for Chief Budley?
December 22nd.
All right, council comments. Alan?
Yeah, this has come up so many times, I just want to reiterate that we aren't closing the convenience center. We are moving it to where we're not accepting trash, because that's picked up twice a week by our Public Works Department. And so we still will be accepting recycling twice a month, as well as the construction debris, scrap metal and so forth. So I just wanted to reiterate that we're not totally closing the doors. And then we'll be able to rely on the town manager to decide whether, if that's enough days a month to accept, to meet our needs on the mountain here. And the other thing is, I just want to give our, not congratulations, but thank the town employees for all they do, and the town manager. He's really been doing a lot with FEMA and several of the other agencies, and that's our lifeline to get Beech Mountain back to 100%. So thank you, Chief, and your employees.
I'll pass it along. Thank you.
Oh, I got a lot of things running through my head, but none of them are good. No, again, I think this body does a lot for this town. We take a lot of criticism. Criticism is good. It makes us look at ourselves and, try to be better for it. We can beat this horse to death, but we're elected officials. We do what we feel is in the best interest of the town. We're not going to agree with everybody all the time, but we do at least what I feel is what is required. Some people are not going to like that. That's why we live in this great country. You're allowed to criticize. So, just keep that in mind. And we're trying, we're going to make mistakes. Everybody does. But we're trying the best we can to get to the end, to a vision that we are trying to achieve. Thanks.
Stafford?
Yeah, I think, we've gotten the town involved in a lot of our decisions. Like, whoever thought we'd have, what's that thing called that the Hill Group does, a sharp, whatever?
Yeah.
Charade, whatever it is.
Charade.
But we want to hear, we listen to you. They've listened to that for the commercial district plan. Sometimes though, we have to look at what everybody says to me is, I don't want to pay more money, right? So that's why we've had to make some changes and some cuts. And then I guess I should recognize and say happy birthday to my son who turned 29 today.
Wow. I'd taking him out for dinner?
No.
Well, you took him out last night, so.
I did take, see, thank you, witness that I took him out last night.
I do want to recognize Francis for an amazing National Night Out. Over 15 different first responders were there. I believe Peter Perkins, another one to recognize, him and I served probably over 200 hot dogs, some with chili, some without chili. It was a very memorable night, and I think it's great to allow the community to meet the people that serve. So you did a great job.
Speaking of town employees, Don Abbott, as one of our police officers, has been promoted to sergeant. So when you see Don, congratulate him on his promotion.
Dress him as sergeant now.
So a couple of the comments that were made earlier that I just, when you hear something rumored, I want to just take note that some of the things just aren't true. That's why they're called rumors. And some folks have asked, why we are terminating some of the employees that work at the convenience center, and no one's getting terminated. These folks, having a small business, we could probably hire 10 employees tomorrow, but that the volume of people out looking for work just isn't there. So what we've been able to do is where we've had empty positions throughout the town, they're getting relocated. So, for the record, correct me if I'm wrong, Chief. You're correct. For the record, no one's getting terminated. So everyone's job is secure. As I mentioned earlier, it's an honor to have Senator Hayes and Rep. Ray Pickett and Rep. Dudley Green come here next month. It's not often that we have three highly elected, respected officials that come to Beech Mountain. So we need to take full advantage of this when they arrive. And last is that I'm honored to have been appointed to the North Carolina Commerce Board. And with this board, it's a division of rural communities, and they give grants and money to rural communities that need money. And some of these same grants will involve Beech Mountain. So I will have to recuse myself of that, but we have our first meeting this coming Thursday in Raleigh. So thanks for everyone that arrived tonight. I'm not gonna say we make mistakes, but we do listen to you guys, and we take this serious. I think that this has been one of the strongest councils that we've had in some time. We've had to make some painful decisions, but I think it's decisions that are gonna be for the betterment in the future of Beech Mountain. All right, thank you folks for coming tonight. Y'all have a good evening. Meeting adjourned.